Yep, everybody's here.
I'd like to call the November meeting session of the Hardyville Planning Commission to order. Mr. Arzillo, if you'd lead us off.
Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us here today. Thank you. Let us honor all of our vets that died for this country and that protected us, Lord, and they still are. And Lord, thank you for this group of people that have showed up today. Let's do your will today in this meeting. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okey-dokey. So, first order of business is approval of the agenda. And the commissioners have any changes they'd like to make? Seeing none? Okay, we have a move. Second?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
All right, next item on the agenda, approval of the September
No.
Planning Commission.
Public comment.
Sorry, public comment. Do we have any public that wants to talk on any issue not on today's agenda? Seeing none, let's move on to approval of the September 18 Planning Commission minutes. Comments? No comments, guys?
Okay.
The only thing I have that wasn't in here was we talked about putting a comment in there about tabling we had moved to table the item until December, and then the city attorney told us that we had to meet within 30 days, so.
I thought we covered that in the minutes for the October 16th. I stated that in there,
All right.
and that's why they were included. And I felt that was the best place to put those
All right.
after just discussing it with the attorneys.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the September minutes?
So moved.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, on to the October meeting minutes. Any comments?
I have none.
Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. On to new business. Review of a site development permit application for property located at Speedway Boulevard and Alligator Alley in the Gateway Corridor Overlay District, referred to as the Timberstone Industrial Complex. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good to see you again. I'm Joe Duffy, our Senior Planner. I'm excited to walk you through this project with our site development application for the Timberstone Industrial Complex. This project is currently vacant land, and it is located in the Gateway Corridor Overlay District. It is also zoned limited industrial. We are working through the staff review committee process with the application, and our applicant is here with us today as well. The applicant seeks to construct 4 new warehouses on presently vacant land. And we can show you exactly where that is. So it's a way I kind of look at this as it's kind of like the gateway to the Gateway Corridor Overlay District. So it's basically the southernmost point of the district on Speedway Boulevard, very close to the intersection with Alligator Alley, right as you're coming across around the corner there. To the south, that is unincorporated Jasper County, and the property in question is highlighted in the yellow outline, the darker purple shade. Here's what the site looks like today. It's, as you can see, there are some there's a wooded area and a drainage area and buffering up against the roadway. The trees actually kind of dissipate beyond that initial row of them that you see there. It kind of opens up a little bit further beyond that initial area. Part of the Gateway corridor overlay does require pretty significant landscaping, which we're working with the applicant on through the SRC process. Just some of the neighboring properties, that's the property to the south I mentioned earlier. And this is looking west towards the median on US 17. As I mentioned, I know you're all familiar with the overlay district, but the general idea is that we streamline the design standards for the main thoroughfares coming into town and leaving town to really kind of have a consistent feel to those corridors. And it's an extra layer of regulation, so it's a tool that we use in addition to the zoning code to help streamline and guide the designs. And also, as a part of that ordinance, we do bring these cases before the Planning Commission for informational purposes to help with input for the staff review process. As I mentioned, it's limited industrial zoning, currently undeveloped. These 4 buildings will total a little over 20,000 square feet of space collectively, and they're proposed to be flexible in use for different tenants, office and warehouse. Here is the initial landscaping plan outline. So as you can see, landscaping will be retained in addition to drainage areas bordering Highway 17. The green area to the right, that sort of trapezoidal shape, is an existing wetland which will not be disturbed. Additionally, stormwater detention pond will be added towards the eastern corner of the parcel. Here is a conceptual rendering of what these structures are proposed to look like. So as you can see, the building facades do have a consistent look with others throughout the Gateway corridor overlay, and that the ground level is highlighted with a kind of accented facade to kind of make them feel a little bit less warehousey with the windows. And we will be looking at a lighting plan as well. So just a reminder, staff review committee is reviewing this concurrently, and so we're happy to provide this for the Planning Commission, so everyone knows what's going on, and be glad to open it up for any questions or comments.
All right, starting on the left, Mr. Foreman, any questions?
I do not.
Mr. Talbot?
I do. Can you go back a couple of slides?
Sure.
No? Yeah, that's fine. I assume that it's right in and right out only. There's not going to be any left turns in and out.
Sir, I'd be glad to invite the applicants up to help answer that. So we've got Nathan Sturry here on behalf of the applicant.
Okay.
Nathan Sturry, civil engineer. We have Tom Bannock, the property owner back there with Timberstone. And they are both right in, right out. You can't make a left turn out.
All right, Steve, anything else?
No, I'm just concerned with the number of trucks. I mean, I like this concept, and I think you're far enough up from the intersection and the widest part of 17, because there's another project down there that really I have a lot of heartburn with, but I was concerned with trucks maybe trying to make a left turn, and you were going to maybe try to put a cut through there, but.
No, sir.
Okay.
Barzillo?
Is this a property that butts up to Green Goods Nursery?
Sir.
And their property line, Where would it,
The plan south.
okay? And just briefly, just the buffer zone that's gonna affect them. Is that what I'm looking at right there? You said the green is an existing wetland.
Yes, this is the existing wetland behind the proposed location of the buildings.
Just-
Goats nurseries down here, and there is a proposed landscaping buffer between the parking area and their property.
And there's also a cell tower in the, plan bottom left.
Okay, that's all I have.
I have nothing. I just had a comment, which was, I'm pleased that you and staff have worked this out so it fits what our intentions were with the overlay. Parking's on the side, not in the front. There's a landscape buffer to the highway, and I think that looks good. So, I had no other questions beyond that. Any follow-up from the commission? Anything from the audience? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
We don't approve it.
That's right. I'm sorry. I remember that. So
I make a motion, that we don't make a motion.
let's do that. So we want to send this to council with our endorsement.
No,
Staff review.
All right. Staff
Thank you for
Review
coming.
Committee with our endorsement. Yeesh.
Thank you, commissioners.
All righty. Next item on the agenda,
okay.
consideration of a request to amend the MZDO to allow for digital billboards. Brianna.
Good morning. Thank you for your patience with us as we learn move through these different types of applications today, because everything's a little different today. I am presenting a request that was submitted to us by Grace Outdoor Advertising for a text amendment to the MZDO. They are actually asking to revise section Article 8.3C2, which is the orientation and character of billboards. And so that's what we're looking at. This would allow LED billboards, and it would also reduce the distance between these LED billboards that's required. So there's two factors that they're looking for in this request. We have right now we do not allow any digital, and we also do not have a 1,500 foot minimum between billboards, so that we reduce the clutter and everything. And that was that part's been in our ordinance for a number of years now. The applicant is seeking to amend the MZDO by deleting 8.3C2 and replacing it with the text that has been provided to you. Basically, what it says is the changeable copy through the use of LED lights, as long as the copier is no larger than the existing billboard, and as I mentioned before, at least 1,000 feet from a digital billboard. We just allow new billboards on I-95. We do not allow them anywhere else in the city. And like I said, we've did the spacing, we've looked at it, we worked with Billboard Exports and others, and we came up with that 1,500 foot. Any sign using LED technology must allow static images, no less than 6 seconds. No flashing, scrolling. That was one thing that we have been adamant about in the past, is even on the local signs and the smaller signs, when they flash, it is very distracting. And we felt that was not in the best interest of Hardeeville. They also are asking for dimmers and photocells, sensors to adjust the brightness, and changing it from dark to light, and making sure they adjust. That's what they're requesting. The comprehensive plan for the vision of the city of Hardeeville focuses on natural environment and traditional lifestyles. There are many sections of the comprehensive plan that do follow up on this, but I thought this one was pretty broad and handled most of what we're looking for. Responsible growth and quality development are key to maintaining these values. The MZDO currently strives to accomplish this goal by limiting the size, location, style, and number of billboards. Staff does recommend reinforcing those standards and keeping the MZDO as it is. With that, I have representatives for the applicant from Grace Outdoor, and invite them to give you a few. I'll go back to the page. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Grace Stevenson. My friends call me Gracie, so I have siblings, so I can't say it was named after me. But this is my coworker, Ty. My dad sent me here, so I'm just here to kind of answer any questions y'all have about this because I don't think we care so much about the 1,000 feet. I think 1,500 feet seems totally reasonable. And I have a lot of we have digitals, 19 different municipalities, and a lot of them do allow upgrades in Greenville, Spartanburg, all these growing areas, and with the new exit, Buc-ee's, whatever, it will increase, so much traffic. And the main goal of a digital or a changeable copy sign is what they call them, is to protect and enhance the aesthetic appeal of the community, ensure public safety along streets and highways, to protect and enhance the economic vitality of the city, and it's an effective medium to direct and inform the general public. So we have in like Lancaster County, they have their own digital slot where they can run whatever they want. It's a football game or a local something or missing person, Amber Alert type thing. So I'll open it up for questions and do what I can to answer it for you.
All right, Mr. Foreman.
You said you have the boards in 19 different municipalities?
Digitals, yeah.
Well, let me ask you, in the 19 municipalities, does anybody have anything different than what you are proposing here? For example, the 6 seconds, I wondered how you arrived at the 6 seconds.
That's the state, the DOT's minimum, but we have 8 seconds up to 10.
So some have
Yeah.
opted for longer?
That can be adjusted based on what y'all feel comfortable with. And in Charleston, we do 8 seconds. So,
And that's a local provision?
yeah, that's their local ordinance.
And second thing, you talked about how this enhances economic development or economic vibrancy. And could you explain to me how that happens?
Yeah, with just with a new exit coming in that does create traffic that will exit and allow for more cars to get off the interstate. So any other businesses nearby that would like to benefit from the traffic flow, it just provides more flips of the screen to allow that. And it is also helpful for, law enforcement and messaging to people who might be traveling through, evacuations or hurricane, stuff like that. So, I don't know, every time we do a lot of billboards, but when you see like a good ad, it always just seems to help. So I don't think that you should, cut yourself off at the knees where you can't upgrade it, but we don't want to in any way like obstruct the aesthetic of your town. It's more of just creating or having the ability to design and submit the plans for upgrading it so that it can benefit.
Do any of the 19 municipalities have other provisions or regulations that limit the kinds of things you can put on or any?
Yeah, there's a standard that we don't allow anything explicit. I don't even think they allow do they allow CBD? I don't think that's allowed. The CBD is, but I mean, there's no,
And we work with the board owners. If they have any objections, we
Yeah.
won't allow that. So the same would apply for the municipality.
so anything that's explicit or adult, you know, we do alcohol sales a lot, but Christmas, that can be helpful.
And then my last question, do you or any industry groups, have you done any studies about the public safety impact?
Yes, so the OAAA, the Outdoor Advertising Association of America, has the local South Carolina OAASC, yep, Outdoor Advertising Association of South Carolina. They're very, I mean, they have like everything, so light measurement, just impact studies, there's traffic, I mean, there's so much information we can supply, but specifically, is there any like kind of data like you're asking about, or?
Well, I just wonder if there's any, if the industry has done any studies of the safety of these.
Oh, yeah. It's also built into the, like the ambient lighting, like it will shut itself down before it flashes, you know, like it has sensors all up in that thing. Like, it's crazy.
I'm not sure I understood what you just said there.
The sign, the screens themselves, they'll shut down, go black instead of flashing. Like they have sensors in that control all that. And they also have ambient lighting sensors that will adjust any brightness and things so that because your eyes sees foot candles. So it'll adjust all the tech behind that automatically. So
And one thing is like when you look at it at an angle, it's not shining out. It's like how an iPhone works where you have it at the angle, you can't really see the screen. That's
it directs it to a
Straight.
zone. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I have.
And I'm happy to send y'all any information y'all might need about from the AAA or anything.
studies.
Yeah.
Yeah. You raised some questions. I had some questions. Now you raised more. You said that you'd work with the board owners. You're not going to own the board? You just
The
install it?
The landowners.
The landowners, okay. So, bottom line is, you sell space on that board.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you said there's a benefit to us. What's the benefit to us?
We could designate a slot to the city itself.
So
Yeah, y'all could always have an ad, like say there's 8 slots or 6 slots room for digital ads running. One of them could be for the city that just runs every time. It's through, gives y'all an opportunity to say, welcome, or happy.
Okay, well, I'm going to be right up front with you. I come from a state that does not allow billboards, period. So, most of my adult life, I've lived without billboards.
I understand. I've met probably a few of your friends.
I do have a problem with digital and LED billboards, a real problem. And as Mr. Foreman suggested, it's a safety problem. We've got a changeable billboard down on 17 just before you get to the bridge going into Savannah.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay. I've seen people literally stop so they can see the next ad. I've seen people staring at the billboard and swerve. I personally think they're a safety issue. I don't see any, from my perspective, I don't see any need for us to change what we worked very diligently on these ordinances. This board, we worked for hours and hours to get the wording that was effective for everybody. So in that respect, I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, but I can't see a reason to change.
I do I do hear what you're saying, and I understand safety is obviously, that is always my top goal. I would never, but it is
But
illegal
you,
to
you don't,
stop,
you
but-
don't have any control over what people are gonna do.
No,
That's my
you
point.
don't, you don't, but we do have control over the design of what we submit. We can submit, monument signs that have, logos on there or have brick, facades. But I've never, nobody really crashes at a that's not really, I don't think that's a true statistic.
I spent a little time online. As you say, there's a plethora of information out there. But one of the studies I found when it talked safety concerns is there was a 2015 government-funded study looking at digital billboards along high-speed roads in Alabama and Florida. Maybe that's where they were first, I don't know. They found that there's an increase in accidents of 25 to 29% near these signs versus a control area that had no changeable signs. So that,
Some of the specific signs you're referring to.
I have to agree with Mr. Foreman.
I
And
think that the incidents that happen are due to the increase in traffic in general, as opposed to the screen causing someone to make a
Well,
poor
this,
driving decision.
the control was the same roadway in another section that didn't have any digital billboards. So it was the same time frame, just digital billboard, regular billboards. And they said, again, to what Steve's saying, people just kind of want to see the messages. That's the first thing I thought when I looked at this application myself is, my wife and I commented that we have a tendency to focus on those things. And of course, that's your whole purpose in outdoor advertising, is to draw our attention. So, obviously you do. The insurance company considers it every bit as distracting as talking on your cell phone while you drive, so.
I will say that there was a lady stopped at the stoplight this morning and she was on her phone. So just the human desire to look at a screen when you're not moving, like at a stoplight, is there. And I would rather have people looking out the window than on a phone, but I can't understand what you're saying. I think it just comes down to how you approve permits, and I just, having it that it's not allowed at all is a pretty strong, y'all can be as strict as you want to with your ordinance in approving things, but for it to just not be allowed, I feel like it could be a lost opportunity for a lot of people in the area with the development that's coming into the state right now.
Mr. Arzillo, any comments?
Yeah, I think that we have experienced unprecedented growth. Our roads, our infrastructure has not caught up to what is here now and what is coming. Just getting off of 95 in the morning at exit 8, the whole emergency lane is now being used as a deceleration lane. I'm not for adding one distraction, period. Not now and not for the foreseeable, we've had these problems forever, and I would not say that we're gonna cause more accidents because we have an Amber Alert. I'm satisfied with saying that I'm not comfortable with the digital signs here now.
But is that in the ordinance, like forever, like your net, like
Nothing's forever, but until this community gets the infrastructure that it needs to where distractions are somewhat justifiable, I don't know when that would be, but I would think that it could be 5 years, it could be 20 years, I don't know. But now, today, in this meeting, there's no.
the development does take a long time, I understand, but we did just meet with the DOT a couple weeks ago, and they've showed the map of, the bridges, the roads, the conditions, and how, so that,
We live it every day, so
I do too,
you're
yeah.
preaching to the choir.
But they are working right now on how they're gonna upgrade over the next, 25 years. So there's, if you write it out of the ordinance where it can never be done, it could get stuck that way where if it does turn out to be something that people really do want, it won't be allowed.
Then it will probably come back then.
May I,
Okay.
give you some information? I just want to follow up, excuse me. Is this a reminder for you that this is a recommendation to city council? City council makes the ultimate decision. Even if you recommend disapproval, it still goes on for their consideration.
We fully understand that.
Yeah, and I also wanted you to understand there was the comments about the copy of that. There are other laws and guidelines and case law about the copy of billboards. We also had a situation, and just to give you full information of the digital billboard that's on Highway 170. It's Beaufort County got some criticism for it. Hardyville got criticism for it. It's in unincorporated Jasper County. I just want to let you know that it's not something that we have, and we have had concerns. So I hope that kind of gives you some information on this.
I also wanted to say that I do love this part of the state. I have friends here, and I do know that Beaufort is very protective of their land, and I love it. Like, I think it's fantastic. You don't want your land to turn into, I don't want to say Myrtle Beach, but, overly done. I mean, you get it. But some of the signs when we were driving down here that do belong to us, I did find them distracting because I thought they looked bad. So if we wanted to upgrade them, it would limit what we're working with to even fix the current situation. So that's,
You just reinforced my argument that it's distracting.
well, because I'm a billboard person. That's all I can.
But you were distracted. That's my point. You were distracted by that billboard.
I wasn't driving. I was just watching. I wasn't driving, but I thought my signs didn't look that good, and that we should have them upgraded. And there is a chance that I could perhaps put an LED. I'm not even sure if we have a proposal started, but we just are recommending and asking that it's not completely allowed. I mean, disallowed.
I understand but I understand what you're asking for, and.
I do not want to cause more car
I,
accidents.
I,
That is the
I,
last
I
thing.
appreciate your arguments.
I will say that the digital billboard looks a lot better than the static billboard, especially some of these older ones that have been here for decades, and it would improve the look of the interstate and Hardyville as you continue to grow.
But that's an opinion.
It is an
It looks
opinion.
better than a static billboard.
Yes, that is my
I personally would rather see a static billboard than one that's gonna distract my attention, because I can ignore that static billboard. But if you've got one that's flashing at me, I'm gonna look.
It won't be flashing. It'll be
Well, you say it won't be flashing, but it's changing.
When it flips.
That's, to me, that's the same as flashing,
Yeah.
okay?
With the message.
Because I'm gonna wanna see,
with the
I'm
message-
gonna wanna see what's the next thing coming up.
With the messaging, well, see, the thing about the billboard ad is that it's the goal to communicate your message in a moment. It's not even, I mean, you get seconds, but you should be able to, so it really is the creative artwork that gets, and so my mom, who runs the business, she does not, someone puts a QR code on a digital ad, she will not let it play. It's dangerous and it's stupid. Who's gonna, I don't get that. But the industry standard is 7 words or less for a billboard ad, regardless if it's digital or static. So it really shouldn't be anything that is, I mean, it doesn't black out and blink up. It just switches and it should communicate its idea. Again, that is in the advertiser's hands, but they also bring money to the community, so.
All right, Mr. Demick, your turn.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we recommend the city council to deny the amendment application and remain with the current MZDO for billboards.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
So we're going to recommend to council to keep things as they are. Thank you for
Thank you for your
visiting
time.
with us today.
And that will be on the December 12th city council meeting. December 12th.
All right, that takes us to
You know, it's not just the same.
the planning report.
Yes, I was going to introduce Mr. Gruber once he finishes up here. Our new city manager, we have, as you know, Mr. Sembor retired a couple of weeks ago now, and
Did he retire, or just move on to something else?
he retired from the city, but I think he's still doing stuff around the area.
He's in Georgia. Yep.
Some. He's got several different adventures he's moving on to. But we certainly welcome, council went through went through an extensive search, and I think it's very welcoming and happy to be able to present Mr. Josh Gruber, and he can tell you all about himself.
Thank you, Brent. Good afternoon, everyone. I am incredibly pleased to be here and be joining you all. I'm now 2 weeks onto the job, and I tell everybody it only took me 4 days to announce a Buc-ee's when I got here. So just imagine what I can do with 7 days, you know? So no, there's a lot of great stuff going on now, and I'm looking forward to working with you all closely as we guide the city on how it's going to be for the next 10, 15, 20 years, because that's really what you're looking at when you're making these decisions today is what's that impact going to be long range from now. And so we really want to make sure that we're aligned with you and share that vision, and of utmost importance, provide you with any and all information that we can so that you can make informed and intelligent decisions. And so again, look forward to working with you. You've got my contact information. If there's any questions, concerns, things I can help address for you, I am always happy to meet, have a conversation, and answer any questions or give you anything that we can. But is there anything I can answer for you today?
Nope.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you. That's an easy one. We'll take it.
Send you a text.
That's it. Thank you. Text, email, whatever is best, but happy to get you anything that we can do to make
Welcome
your jobs and
aboard.
service easier.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, we have some projects that Katie's going to tell you about, but I want to tell you that we finally settled in to our new digs and our new conference room. We're kind of finishing it up. We didn't realize we had so many binders and books. I think you all know how many binders and books we have. So
You keep giving them to us.
he does. So Katie?
Just a few highlights from staff review committee. This morning we had the Gateway Corridor overlay project that you saw for Timberstone. So they will get their official comments next week for that, based on what we heard at this meeting as well as staff review committee. And then we had an amendment for Gateway Commerce, which is a building that's being built in the Hardyville Commerce Park right now. So that very minor amendment. The best news that I have is that we are issuing the development permit for East Argent Parkway Phase 6, which is the final phase of the parkway. So I wanted to make sure that I let y'all know that. You may have seen, if you go down that way, you may see some activity back there, and that is all good news. There was a annexation a few months ago for Taylor's Landscaping. I think y'all remember. They did have their pre-construction meeting with Chris this week, I think it was. Yep. And so they are getting ready to get underway. And then on White Hardy Boulevard, a number of years ago, across from the old Wendy's, there was a consignment shop, which then Ecofoam came in and they put a new facade on it and built a new building in the back. Their final two buildings are getting underway as well right now, so that's good news. And then our communities like Sun City and Margaritaville keep plugging along with their development permits as well. So I just wanted to highlight, I was really excited when I saw that phase 6 of the parkway was ready to be issued, so.
Do you have any visibility into when we may see the light at Argent 278 and at Sun City and Argent?
From my understanding, and this is, Mr. Davis is our point person, and he had other requirements this morning, other things on his agenda. But you will see, more than likely, you will see the Sun City one before you see the Argent Boulevard one. That doesn't mean that either one of them is a long time away.
We've already wrecked several vehicles at that intersection.
Yes, and as you know, the golf cart bridge is being constructed, and it does create, I think, between East Argent Loop Road and Sun City there, we have quite the traffic. I hear crashes constantly. So, but the state is doing the one at Argent and 278. They had to get it back on the list because they put it out for bid and couldn't get takers on it. They are in this. It's not only just a light, but it's also extending that turn lane, which I think is very important. If you've seen any of the 278 study that Kimley Horn put out for us, I know we have the videos of some of the different workshops on the website, and I'll certainly send you some links. They're ultimately going to two lefts there. And that means they have to widen Argent Boulevard. I think at this point, the state's looking at what's most practical to get something there as soon as possible, so it won't have the full improvements, so there could be continued construction. As far as the date, I don't know. I did hear spring, that would.
Well, first they got to get a bid.
Exactly. That's what I meant for the bid. But I will check with Mr. Davis and get you back further information and send that out to you with some of the 278 information as well.
Who's responsible for the Sun City light?
Pulte
Aha.
and DO.
Is money putting that light in?
Absolutely.
And it's Pulte's contractor then.
Right.
Yes, with help from the DOT and others. And it's been through our staff review committee. So right now it's waiting on,
Let me tell you, it ain't easy.
it's waiting on DOT at this point.
Been there.
Why don't you could get you a stop sign and you could. Oh,
give you
nobody
a
likes that
job.
idea. But we are, I know that Chief Woodward keeps his guys. I'm looking at Barrett Baxter right now, Corporal Baxter. I know there's a lot of presence on Argent Boulevard, and they're going to continue on. It's one of his number one priorities right now.
All right, so the DOT has not approved the.
They have to,
yet?
there have to be, we've heard this throughout the process. There's warrants, there's a number of things, and it's timing. So I do not know when all that's going to happen, but I will get as much information as I can from Matt for you.
I wish you guys luck, and I hope it's quicker than mine.
Your was, yeah.
Yep.
Well, we get asked by neighbors on a very regular basis about that light.
Yeah, so did we.
Matt Davis is our point person for that. though.
While you're up there, any time frame on widening and extending the left turn lanes at Hilton Head Lakes and Margaritaville?
Yes, once again, there are more than one entity involved with that. I know that one is probably, at this point, a little closer because of some of the need that's come up from DOT's perspective, and from several different engineers. I don't know the exact dates of any of these, but I will get, I'm gonna get Matt to give you a full overview of everything, okay? Of all of those main ones.
There's a lot that's gonna happen on 278.
Yes, and that's why I think if we can get that presentation for you, and if you're not able to see it, we'll review it. We'll get Dylan Turner, who is the traffic engineer that did everything for council and for the city, and we'll get him to come present to you guys
It'd be
too.
great.
In the Margaritaville area, I think it was east of Margaritaville, maybe, looked like there was a construction road being busted in on the right
That's for a
side.
cell tower.
What's that? That's-
Cell tower.
Oh, okay.
It's just, they put in gravel to be able to access the site. It's not going to be a true road, though.
Oh, yeah. You should have been in my shoes when they found out that that cell tower was going in. They don't want to see it.
They're not gonna see it. It'll be good.
It's gonna look like a pine tree.
But their phones will work.
They want better service, but they don't want it in their backyard.
Exactly. Not in my backyard.
Thank you for everything.
Thanks.
All right. Any other commissioner comments?
I have an additional one. The cell tower's up.
Sorry?
Cell tower is up,
I just went back there last week to check on it.
and you can't see it.
Actually already constructed. They're finishing it up now, it looks like. So, and you can't see it even from the road.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
So the lights start flashing at night. What is that?
It's a Christmas tree.
Keeps me awake.
Close your eyes when you sleep.
Yeah. All right, any commissioner comments?
Just one. December 14th is Wreaths Across America, Hardyville, out front, noontime.
We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
See you maybe in December.
That's a record.